Rin walks to attend the Supreme Five Swords meeting that she has organized, where she expounds on teaching men the values and morals. Meanwhile, Nomura takes his first step in school premises, recollecting his previous altercation in his former school. He finds that every female student in the school is equipped with weapons. The Supreme Five Swords meeting, held in the presence of Rin, Mary, Satori, Inaba, and Hanasaka, deliberated on what to do with Nomura, the new transfer student. Nomura has been involved in a brawl at his former school, enduring over 40 people, both severely and mildly, and himself sustaining the most severe injuries. At this point, the Empress Amo makes a sudden entrance to the meeting just as Satori is struggling to enunciate Nomura's name accurately. This event triggers a surge in tensions between the Supreme Five Swords and Amo, with Rin telling that Nomura will not be a student in her class. All members remain vigilant of his magic bullet technique. As Nomura is walking in the school premises, he is shocked to see Masakabura dressed in feminine attire. Nomura makes a comment that unintentionally offends Master Kardara, calling him a Buddha and a pig. Masakudara explains the school's expectations for male students to dress in a similar fashion to their female counterparts for the sake of coexisting peacefully. Later, Nomura is held at weapons point in his classroom by Rin and her subordinates. Masukagea is present and witnessing everything. Rin explains the role of the Five Swords in maintaining order within the school and demands that Nomura conform or leave. However, Nomura refuses to accept both options, feeling cornered. Nomura creates a distraction and uses a technique called Shimmering Cloud, causing commotion by peeking under a girl's skirt. Using the distraction as a cover, he escapes through the window. Rin chases after him, questioning how far he plans to run. Rin strikes Nomura and slices his tie in frustration. Rina and Nomura engage in a fierce battle with Rin displaying her multiple skills. Nomura attempts to kick her legs out, but she quickly shifts into Crane's stance, impressing the other Five Swords who are watching. As their battle intensifies, Rin manages to cut Nomura, but he's not ready to give up yet and pulls out a pair of gloves to continue fighting. However, Nomura stumbles over a tree root, and Rin seizes the opportunity and keeps striking Nomura with continuous blows to take him out. Once again, Nomura uses Shimmering Cloud to evade her attack and get to her side, placing his hand on her side. Rin congratulates him on being able to touch her but then raises her blade to finish him off. However, Nomura reveals that he has a gun while she only has a sword. Rin smiles and lowers her blade, but Nomura isn't done yet. He uses the magic bullet technique, which disables Rin and prevents her from taking her blade. Nomura explains that he modified the defective technique from a certain sword school. Rin correctly identifies the magic bullet technique, prompting Nomura to question her. Before she can answer, Mazzaniano interrupts and hits Nomura on the head, causing him to accidentally kiss Rin and break her mask. When Nomura recovers, he argues with Mozunano about the kiss, but Rin picks up her blade and threatens to castrate him, shocking everyone. Mozunano expresses sorrow regarding Rin's defeat against Nomura in the bathing area. Mary, with her subordinate Choka, shows up and vows to teach Nomura a lesson. Meanwhile, Nomura approaches Masakadera after a bath to inquire about the exit permit. Masakadera explains that the permit requires stamps from all 5 Supreme Swords. Nomura bemoans his unfavorable start and proceeds to question Masakadera about how the dormitory obtains luxury items. Masakadera reveals the use of a smuggler to bring in such goods. The next day, Nomura receives attention from his classmates as he holds some cakes. Rumors circulate that he kisses girls while they are unconscious. Meanwhile, Rin is dreaming that she is walking with her mother while wearing a demon mask but quickly wakes up and begins hitting her pillow in anger towards Nomura. She thinks of Nomura as a playboy pervert and wishes he would shut up. She also reflects that it was her first defeat and kiss with someone. Rin punches her pillow in frustration and curses Nomura for running after their accidental kiss when she should have been grateful, as he is actually cute. Rin senses a presence and grabs her sword and puts on her damaged mask, but Nomura stops her from unsheathing her sword by entering through the window smoothly. He states that he came to visit her since she is sick and hands over some cakes. Nomura admits that he didn't notice Rin's cuteness the day before due to her mask but got lucky with a kiss. Rin blushes at his words. He proceeds to ask about the exit permit, to which she refuses to give but eventually agrees when he expresses interest in seeing her in casual attire. However, when Nomura hints that he wants more kisses in exchange for the permit, Rin faints from her fever. Nomura tries catching a falling Rin but accidentally reveals her opai. Mozignano walks in, only to find the two in a questionable state. Nomura tries to explain, but she refuses to listen to his explanations and activates traps while Nomura flees the girls' dorm. The threats of castration chase him as he runs. Nomura bumps into Choka and Chocolate challenges Nomura, but unfortunately, Mozignano also joins in to fight him. While fighting, Nomura blocks Mozignano's attack but fails to block Choka's whip strike that leaves a bruise on his arm. He discovers that he is undergoing a level 2 correction, which requires 2 people to punish him. The girls struggle to coordinate their attacks. Nomura immobilizes them by using their weapons against them and ends the fight with a magic bullet. The 2 girls cry, with onlookers declaring Nomura a pervert. Nomura is walking back to the boys' dormitory when Rin suddenly appears and gives him the certificate. Later, Yui and Saki inform Rin that Mozignano was defeated by Nomura, causing her to become angry and faint again. The following day, Nomura attends class, but his classmates avoid him and make derogatory comments about him. Rin approaches him, looking upset, and declares herself his supervisor. At night, Choka talks to her sister about Nomura while she's having dinner before the fighting day. Meanwhile, Master Kardara warns Nomura about the danger he is in for upsetting Choka and informs him that her sister Mary will seek revenge and mentions a girl named Empress who defeated Mary and Rin barehanded. The following day, Ren escorts Nomura to a school that Mary and Choka confront him over rumors. Ren takes responsibility for Nomura's actions, but Mary accuses her of acting strange after being kissed by Nomura. Ren instructs Nomura to attend class while she deals with Mary. The 2 engage in combat, but Mary orders Choka to attack Nomura from behind with her whip. However, Nomura manages to stop the attack with his belt, causing his pants to fall down and Choka to faint. Meanwhile, Rin is defeated by Mary due to her illness. Nomura is surprised to encounter his old adversary, Amo, and reminisces about their previous fight in which he had been easily defeated. Amo, who used to present herself as a man, now confronts him as a girl and declares that she had always been a girl. As Nomura moves towards Amo, Mary intervenes and starts threatening him after seeing Choka unconscious. Nomura engages in a fierce battle with Mary, who uses her Western sword style to inflict injuries. Her plan is to wear him down with constant attacks. Nomura makes a last-ditch attempt to strike Mary, but she hits him hard in the stomach. However, Nomura is saved by a manga he had hidden under his shirt. He uses it to hit Mary on the head and then uses his magic bullet technique to send her flying. Upon being defeated, Mary wishes to die rather than live to face this much embarrassment. Nomura is confused about what Mary is saying. Mary had an unusual belief that being violated like the other women was necessary to maintain her pride, even though the reasoning behind this belief was unclear. After he refuses to do anything, she imprints her mark between her O party, to which Nomura nearly reaches out but manages to stop himself. Mary reveals that it was a test, and he passed it, granting him a stamp. Upon returning from a class trip, Hanasaka, accompanied by her pet bear Kyubu, attends an arranged meeting to discuss Nomura's correction with Mary and Rin, included with the intention of teaching the 3 of them a lesson. Later, the event is well attended, with a large crowd gathering on the school grounds. Nomura is surprised to see his friend Masukabara beaten and hanging on a cross. He rushes to help Mary and Rin caution him against falling into a trap. Hanasaka appears laughing and proclaiming that the boys have disrupted the school's peace. She announces the Varabimpics, an event that will focus on Nomura and offers a prize for winning all the challenges. Her stamp of approval. Hanasaka concludes that Rin and Mary will also participate in the festival, as decided by the 5 Swords Council. She summons her 3 musketeers, Nico, Toko, and Kinyu, and sets up a sumo wrestling ring. Shoka and Nono arrive for assistance but are quickly overpowered by Toko and Kinyu. Nomura assists Rin and Mary in putting on their sumo belts, which they find embarrassing. All 3 are present in the ring, with the match being broadcast throughout the school. Nomura steps forward confidently, only to discover that his opponent is actually a bear. He maintains his composure and enters the ring to fight. The battle begins with Nomura attempting a front tackle, however, the bear dodges, and Nomura counters with a foot sweep. Using magic bullets, he then picks up the bear from behind and plans to take it out of the ring. However, he notices that the bear's belt is loose and unraveling. He puts the bear down, realizing that the bear has lost. Upon witnessing this, Hanasaka faints and declares the conclusion of the games and the beginning of a war. Hanasaka, in a state of shock, orders her subordinates to gather their resources and organize the Red Pepper Tower shift through a speaker. She addresses Nomura and informs him that the Varabimpics event has come to a close. She entices him by promising to grant him the stamp if he comes alone to the designated location. In the meantime, an Avakar, a wooden rabbit, foretells that the situation will not end well. Hanasaka informs that she has 3 musketeers waiting on each level, as well as 10 high-level members on every floor. Mary warned Nomura that it may be a trap and implored him not to go. However, Nomura refuses and insists on helping Masukadara, stating that he would be lonely without him. Rin and Mary express their desire to assist Nomura and request to change her attire before the conflict. While Rin and Mary changed, Choka and Nono request a favor from Nomura. Nomura discloses to Rin and Mary that their sisters are fighting high-level members and asks them to have faith in them as they deliberate on which path to take to reach Hanasaka. Satori suddenly appears with an impassive expression and declares her hatred for Nomura. Hanasaka observes from afar as some enigmatic figures wearing masks. Nomura suddenly appears on the scene accompanied by Rin and Mary. He requests that Hanasaka stamp the certificate, but she declines and instead calls upon her pet bear, challenging them to a fight. Mary takes on Hanasaka's three musketeers, while Nomura engages in a boxing match with the bear. Rin faces off against Hanasaka herself. Hanasaka uses a hidden shuriken to injure Rin during the battle. Despite this, Rin and Hanasaka continue to engage in a fierce struggle, with Hanasaka attempting to break Rin's willpower. When both Nomura and Mary are cornered, Nomura expresses gratitude towards Rin and Mary for their assistance, which helps Rin regain her composure. Together, the three of them ultimately emerge victorious against their opponents. The next day, Rin and Mary prepare themselves for Nomura's attention by dressing up, with Rin wearing a new uniform and Mary wearing a new fragrance. However, they are both taken aback when they see that Nomura is now incredibly popular with girls, following him wherever he goes in the school. Rin and Mary find this behavior annoying and frustrating as Nomura seems oblivious to their efforts. Over dinner that night, Mary suggests taking things to the next level in order to teach Nomura a lesson, and Rin agrees. However, the following day, when they confront Nomura in class, they are surprised to find that he is already waiting for them. Nomura immediately compliments Rin and Mary on their old appearance, indicating that he likes them just the way they were. This causes both Rin and Mary to blush, and they decide to postpone their plan. Before they leave for class, Rin insists on inspecting Nomura's belongings. While searching, she discovers a picture of Nomura with Satori, both of them naked. This discovery makes both Rin and Mary furious, and they confront Nomura, who claims himself innocent. In a fit of rage, Rin and Mary strike Nomura, causing him to run away. As he flees, Nomura bumps into Hanasaka and her bear, Kobu. Hanasaka offers to help and hide him from Rin and Mary, and Nomura takes the opportunity to confide in her about the situation. Hanasaka informs Nomura that Satori is trying to destroy his relationship with Mary and Rin without their knowledge. She then inquires if he has a plan to rectify the situation. Nomura realizes that in the compromising image, the part that appeared to be a boner is, in fact, obscured by a ray of light. Hanasaka suggests that obtaining the original data would exonerate him. She also warns Nomura that he would face severe punishment if he attempted to enter the girls' quarters again. Subsequently, Nomura is subjected to brutal torture by Rin and Marian until they discover a ghastly scar on his back and decide to take a break. Masaka arrives and assists Nomura in his escape, as they had previously planned. They initially search Satori's room but find no incriminating evidence. Hanasaka reveals that Satori seems like a mysterious entity masquerading as a human. Nomura and Hanasaka then decide. Suddenly, a masked individual appears and attacks. No more with a blow dart, but Hanasaka stops it with her bare hand. Naked, Satori emerges from the other side, wielding her sword. No more notices a small bag that Satori has tied around her neck, which triggers a flood of memories. Satori then reveals that Masukadara had been assisting them all along and that No More had been drugged to keep him asleep while the masked figure took pictures. Hanasaka decides to engage in combat with the masked figure with a blow dart, while No More confronts Satori, a formidable opponent. Satori swiftly stabs No More, giving him the option of either being stabbed or slashed. Fortunately, No More manages to block the attack with his gloves, but he is left with a wound on his face. After Satori again slashes at him, No More attempts to seize the small bag that Satori had tied around her neck, but he is forced to evade her sudden slash, resulting in an injury to his back. During the confrontation, Mamura calls Satori a monster, to which she reveals that this is a term that has been used to describe her by various people, including her parents, leaving her uncertain of how to respond to it. No More seizes upon a moment of sloppiness on Satori's part and manages to discern her weakness. Additionally, he realizes that she is utilizing a technique from the Casey school, which involves incorporating moves from various schools. Meanwhile, Hanasaka is fighting with a masked figure, but the blow darts are laced with drugs that start to affect her. However, she manages to cut herself in order to remain alert and continue the fight. No More continues to engage in combat with Satori, but he is repeatedly slashed by her. However, he manages to duck under a nearby roof and strips himself naked, shocking Satori. As she moves forward to attack, No More blocks her and explains that it is normal human nature to look at their opponent, regardless of their state of undress. Meanwhile, Hanasaka gains the upper hand in her fight against the masked figure, using her knowledge of judo to disarm and strike her opponent with her own weapon. No More ultimately manages to defeat Satori, but the conflict is far from over. Satori threatens to destroy the previous data, prompting No More to slap her and causing her to fall into the water with the data. Satori expresses surprise at his actions and asks him why he did it. No More responds that Satori had made Rin cry. The next day, No More has a dream about having some fun with Satori. Upon waking in the infirmary, No More realizes that it was just a dream. Curious about how he ended up in the infirmary, No More asks her for an explanation. Satori reveals that after the fight, a group of girls in Inaba arrived and rescued Hanasaka. To avoid detection, she pulled No More into the water while Inaba visited the bathroom. Inaba requested Satori to meet her by the fountain to discuss something and left. No More emerged from the water and asked her about the details. Satori explained that he could never defeat Inaba, and if he fought her with his injuries, he would likely perish. Despite Satori's warning, No More insisted on pursuing Inaba. However, he eventually lost consciousness. Meanwhile, Ren constantly thinks about No More and considers visiting him in the punishment room. On her way there, she encounters Mary, who also intends to visit No More. Both girls lie to each other, saying that they are going to get something to drink. Satori arrives and informs them that No More is currently resting in the infirmary. Satori explains to No More that she had carried him to the infirmary from the girls' bath. Rin appears seemingly ferocious but surprises everyone by apologizing to No More. No More tries to explain his situation with Satori, but Rin only came to apologize and asked about the scar on his back. No More changes the topic. Rina asks for her punishment for torturing him and promises to do anything to make things right. No More asks her to close her eyes and takes off her broken mask. Rin is slightly disappointed but explains that her mother had asked her to wear the mask to hide her ugliness. When No More called her cute, she felt happy and accepted herself. Meanwhile, Hanasaka tries to hold her pee behind the curtains to avoid interrupting the moment. No More also shares that he's an orphan taken in by an old man who was obsessed with swords. The following day, No More returns to his quarters where Masukodara asks him about himself. No More replies that he doesn't have any hard feelings towards Masukodara. No More is happy to receive 4 stamps out of 5. No More wakes up from a dream in which he relives his past fight with Omo, only to find himself severely beaten by her. Meanwhile, a maid arrives to serve Empress Omo her food but returns in a hurry upon discovering that the Empress is missing from her room. Meanwhile, Inaba informs the school principal about Omo's disappearance and her potential rampage. As a result, the principal cancels all classes for the day. No and Mary inform No More and Rin that classes for the day have been cancelled due to the disappearance of Omo. Almost suddenly appears on the rooftop and confronts Satori and Misogi. It is revealed that Satori and Masoli had switched places for some unknown reason. As Satori tries to leave, Amo attacks and stabs her with her bladed finger. Miss Obi attempts to distract Amo with her darts, but fails. Both sisters are severely injured, and Elmo tries to finish off Satori, but Misogi protects her with her body. Hanasaka finally arrives on the rooftop with Kilbo, but is shocked when Amo emerges unscathed. Meanwhile, No More encounters Inaba while walking with Masukodara and asks for the final stamp from her. Despite Masukodara forbidding him to do so, No More approaches Inaba, but she swiftly strikes him with her sword. At first, No More is uncertain whether he was struck or not, but Inaba confirms that he briefly died from her blow. She explains that she was tasked by the headmistress to keep him in check. Inaba reveals that, despite being blind, she compensates with her exceptional hearing and that they are both practitioners of the same sword style. Meanwhile, Hanasaka and her bear are gravely injured by Amo. Despite the ongoing conflict, Hanasaka's 3 musketeers come to their aid but are unable to withstand Amo's prowess. Inaba knows that No More has formed close bonds with the other members of the 5 Blades. As she continues to speak, she realizes that No More has already departed. Hanasaka pleads with Amo to spare her friends, even offering to sacrifice herself in their place. But Amo coldly dismisses her requests and slashes her eyes, leaving Hanasaka blinded as her companions watch in horror. No More rushes to the rooftop but arrives too late. Amo has already left, leaving only destruction in her wake. As No More agrees to fight for his friends, the headmistress arrives and instructs him to leave the girls to her. She charges No More with confronting Omo's impending bloodbath below. Rina and Mary attempt to attack Amo together, but their efforts prove futile. Amo reveals that her blade hands are the result of hardening her body, and she employs the Takuma Kazuchi-style sword god, which turns her entire body into a weapon. As Omo turns her sights on No and Choka, Inaba intervenes to protect her friend Nena. Inaba's sword technique manages to wound Amo, but Inaba is also injured in the process. Amo belittles Inaba's blade as a mere child's toy, one that could easily be broken with bare hands. As Elmo prepares to deliver a final blow, Nomore suddenly appears, and they both scream each other's names. Prior to recent events, Elmo and Nomore were close friends. However, after Elmo caused harm to a fellow student, their relationship deteriorated, and they became enemies. In the present, Nomore attempts to attack Elmo, but she uses her technique auto-counter to strike first. Unfortunately for her, Nomore is protected by a manga he is wearing under his shirt. Inaba questions why Nomore has saved her and allows him to be her friend. Nomore responds by saying that friendships form naturally and it's not something that can be forced. He admits that he hates Elmo and can't understand why she behaves the way she does. In response, Elmo is shocked and declares that Nomore should die. Despite his doubts that his magic bullet will have any effect on Elmo's sealed body, the Five Swords encourage Nomore, assuring him that his previous victory over them is proof that his technique can be effective. At the beginning of the battle, Nomore assumes a sword stance that Inaba recognizes as the fastest available to him. Despite his quick attack, Elmo expertly blocks it with a roundhouse block, sending Nomore stumbling backward. As Nomore recoils into Inaba, he initially believes she's about to attack him. However, she scolds him for his lackluster effort and whispers something in his ear that reignites his determination. In that moment, Nomore remembers everything he has learned up to this point, including his experiences at school. As the two prepare for their final clash, Elmo reflects on her feelings towards Nomore. She wishes to be with him and sees him as someone who has brought color to her life. She wonders if it's still possible for them to be friends, but ultimately realizes that the time for that has passed. If she can't have him, she believes she must kill him. Nomore strips off his shirt, prompting Inaba to note that Elmo is holding back her strikes on bare skin. Nomore intentionally exposes his vitals to Elmo, taking a hit before landing his own technique, the magic bullet, on her chest. However, everyone is surprised when Elmo gets back up after taking a direct hit from the magic bullet. Nomore charges towards Elmo, declaring that it would take more than one hit to defeat him, and punches her in response. Elmo delivers a fierce uppercut that nearly knocks him out, but he regains his composure after hearing Ren's encouraging voice. Nomore fires off another magic bullet, but Elmo counters with an auto-counter that severely damages him. As Nomore falls to the ground, Elmo catches him and invites him to fire another magic bullet into her, confessing her love for him so intensely that she wanted to kill him. Elmo asks Nomore to be hers, but he refuses. Seizing the opportunity, Nomore fires off another magic bullet, winning the match. Inaba is scolding Nomore for his sloppy fighting but offers to tutor him in exchange for a stamp of approval. However, their conversation is abruptly interrupted by the headmistress, Yukino, who orders the girls to disperse and informs Nomore that he is expelled from the school. The next day, Nomore visits Hanasaka and her friends at the hospital to bid farewell and urges her to take care of herself. He then visits Satori, who asks for his opinion of her. Nomore teasingly replies that she was the girl who tried to cut him up in the bath. Misovi enters the room and mistakenly calls Satori by the wrong name, but she simply replies that either name is fine because she is who she is. Meanwhile, Ren and Mary attempt to discuss Nomore's expulsion with the headmistress, but she refuses to reconsider. As Nomore leaves the school, Inaba informs him that Elmo has already departed. Nomore tries to chase after her, but Inaba insists that he needs her permission stamp. After receiving the stamp, Nomore rushes to the airport and bids farewell to Elmo, who suddenly kisses him and claims him as hers. Upon returning to the academy, Nomore encounters Rin and Mary, who inform him that the principal has rescinded his expulsion. Nomore then walks back to the academy and is joyful